both myself and my wife over the years have we've been following Melanie's story from time to time. There's been newspaper articles, and we were aware of the book launch and that. And when I heard her on today, I thought, I must give her a ring, because she actually gave us the strength to go through at the time what we were going through with our own daughter, and she was inspirational. You always kind of knew with Melanie that she was going to get on with things. Even back then, she had such courage, and I thought, this wee girl is going to get through this. She is, because she had just that kind of an aura about her, And I think there's two great people there in your program today, both herself and Oliver. I think the two of them are two great people with courage.
You're an inspiration, Melanie.
Oh, people do say that, and it's lovely to hear from people who have been in some way helped by my story and what our family has gone through. And I guess that's the reason behind the book. It's for parents like that who are maybe just confronted with a situation and they don't know how it's going to turn out.
Melanie, lovely to speak to you this morning. Thanks so much for coming in. Beauty for Ashes is written by Melanie and by Ivan Little. It's on sale from today, and it's published by Award Publishing. Melanie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have time for this morning. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Gerry Anderson is
Joe.
in the hot seat. Gerry, how are you?
Good morning. Where's Black Jack Nolan today?
Black Jack Nolan is still playing the roulette wheel. He's still on the on the Vegas Strip. He's still searching for Dolly Parton. He's still looking for Whitney Houston.
What is he like?
I don't know.
What is he like?
As I said, I was here a couple of, maybe a week ago for a couple of days whenever you were involved in very important BBC business.
Indeed, yes.
And were away.
Indeed.
And I could only think and sympathise with the person who may have been stuck on a flight beside Stephen for 10.5 hours to Vegas. Can you imagine?
They probably have to stand.
Oh, dreadful.
Did you hear about the fellow he bought a plane ticket, and the fellow beside him was terribly obese, and he had to stand the whole time, even during takeoff, because there was no room for him to sit. Anyway, Sammy Wilson must have thought that Nolan was coming back.
He must have done. Yes.
Sammy, an inspiration to us all.
Yes.
What a sense of humour.
Yes.
Isn't it wonderful?
Gerry,
made for Nolan.
How are things? Have you managed to get the ship afloat again after your period away?
It was difficult. Mr. Coyle made it almost impossible to steer.
That's not what I'm hearing.
No. Oh! What have you heard? Come on! Don't hide things from me.
I've heard rumours.
Come on! You mean people liked him?
No, the people in Belfast thought he made a huge impression.
You mean the people who hire us?
Absolutely.
How dare you say that? I'll have words with them.
I think you need to be very careful.
I'll bring the fat boy back immediately and have you banished for this mad terrorist talk.
Yes.
Go away.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. I don't like that talk.
I got a date with a fig roll or a Jaffa cake. Give me a biscuit so that I can have some pleasure without thinking about the state of the world. The credit crunch that gets to me and you for a moment or two. I got a date with a fig roll or a Jaffa cake. Give me a biscuit so that I can have some pleasure without thinking about the state of the world. The credit crunch that gets to me and you for a moment or two. Cocoon by a macaroon, picked up by a penguin. I really hope this tea brigade coming to an end soon. I feel like I'm under a doobie when I'm dunking and digestive, tipping the weight of the world off my shoulders with a biscuit. I really love the feeling of a Garibaldi in my guts. If I'm in a different mood, I like Boses for the nuts. Generally Mercado and coconut cream. For someone you love, it's a biscuit lover's wet dream. I got a date with a fig roll or a Jaffa cake. Give me a biscuit so that I can have some pleasure without thinking about the state of the world. The credit crunch, the kids, and me and you for a moment or two. Biscuits are nice, 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 biscuits are nice. Biscuit munch, credit crunch, crunch, munch, munch, crunch. Biscuit credit crunch, munch, crunch, 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 munch. Biscuit credit munch, credit crunch, munch, munch. Credit biscuit crunch, munch, crunch, munch, munch, crunch. I got a date with a fig roll or a Jaffa cake. Give me a biscuit so that I can have some pleasure without thinking about the state of the world. The credit crunch that gets to me and you for a moment or two. That I can have some pleasure without thinking about the state of the world. The credit crunch that gets to me and you for a a moment or two. I got a date with a fig roll or a Jaffa cake. Give me a biscuit so that I can have some pleasure without thinking about the state of the world, the credit crunch, the kids, and me and you for a moment or two.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
I got a date with a fig roll or a Jaffa cake. Give me a biscuit so that I can have some pleasure without thinking about the state of the world, the credit crunch, the kids, and me and you for a moment or two.
That's the kind of records I like, the ones that make you think there's something wrong with the CD. Now, that's good. Good morning. That's a record called Fancy Dress Funeral. Or maybe the band's called Fancy Dress Funeral. No, the band is called Fancy Dress Funeral, and it's called Credit Crunch, whatever it is. Good morning.
Is that a...
You're loud, so loud. Have you any idea how loud that was?
No, I've no idea.
Frightened the life out of me. What did you do? Did you roar into the
No,
microphone?
I did not.
But why are you so high? You see, everything's very strange. I have an apology to make to the listeners today. There's a new system here on the emails. You probably haven't. I've been introduced to it on Friday. And the BBC have now come up with a system of emails that prevents you from getting them entirely. So this new system...
What's this got to do with your sound?
Because I'm just saying it's just a matter of
No,
it's just one of those things.
It's just a gripe.
No, it's not
It's
a gripe.
just a gripe.
No, it's just
There's nothing wrong with my emails.
I know, but the point is there's a new system now that you haven't been introduced yet.
Oh, I see.
There's a new system. They introduced it to me on Friday when I was in Belfast, which means that I can't get them at all, which is the ambition of all the BBC, is to make sure that you can't get anything. You can't look at anything. And that's see, once you find a system that works, you throw that away and get one away that destroys it. And this system now is so complicated that I can't even turn it on my computer. You're not listening to me. What did I just say? What did I just say?
Is the BBC...
The last sentence you never hit.
And destroy it.
No, I said the system
You said
is
the
so
BBC
complicated.
get a system and it works.
No,
and then
after that I said the system is now so complicated that I can't even turn on my computer. The light won't even go on. So
But I said what I wanted.
Look, you're not listening.
No, what I wanted to say.
You're interrupting me.
I wanted to contribute to it, and I was going to say to you, well, it reminds you of what Terry Wogan said of the BBC.
What's his?
If it's not broke,
Fix it.
no,
Well,
break it.
that's true. Anyway, never mind that. I don't want to give the people the impression that I come in here on a Monday morning griping. I don't want to give the people the impression that I'm unhappy with what's around me, except that I can't get any emails. And I must apologise to people at this stage. I would say, good morning, everyone. The number to ring if you want to contact this program. Are the phones still working?
Yes,
Well, that's good.
perfectly.
Oh, are they?
The text
08.
messages are working.
Well, that's all I'm just about to say. Will you stop? Will you wait until I finish when I'm talking?
Sorry.
Sorry. Do I have to hear Chechen?
Emma's email's working. My email's working.
Yes. That's not what I told you. I went up to Belfast and they changed me.
Why did they change you?
Because I couldn't, they didn't work up there. There's a different system up there, and they put me into the system that works, the new system they have up there now. And now that I come down here, it doesn't work on mine, because I've been neutered.
I don't understand it.
I've been fiddled with. I've been fiddled with. You see, they make me, I've got to the stage now, if I'm in Belfast, my emails work, but they don't work here. And I'm here all the time. But a man, apparently, Ken, told me this morning that there's men coming down to fix us this week.
Ach,
Yes,
no.
it's all in front of you. It's all in front of you. The man's going to come down and do what he did to me. I'm
hate
telling
that
you.
sort of- I hate
Listen, I
that.
think we should move on from this.
I'll never forget. Do you remember the time when the BBC here, and we're
Yes.
talking about Radio Foil here, the BBC all...
I know what Radio 4 is, yes.
But we got a new telephone system. Do you remember that?
It's still not working.
No, I remember. And we had to come in on a weekend. Mm-hmm. We were brought in on weekends, and we're brought in batches to be taught how to use the telephone
We don't want your
system.
stinking batches. We don't want your batches, you said. And that's what I said. I'm not coming in. Why? Because I don't want your stinking batches.
But I was in a room once. I was in a little room. We were about 4 or 5 of us. And this man over from England, I was telling you how to lift the telephone off the receiver.
Not hurt your arm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was busy saying, and this is how you transfer a call.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty about this is if a call's coming in, you can hold that. No, I tell you all this crap you didn't want to know. You know. And I'm sitting and I'm looking out this window.
And the sun shining.
And I see this rooftop, and I say, look at the many chimney pots on that roof over there. And I start to count. I said, how many rooms are in that house? Because it had 8 chimney pots. You see, and I said, there must be a fireplace in every bit. And not, it was far more interesting than how to be told how to transfer a call.
Do you remember the day I walked out?
But that man was I'll never forget that.
Remember the day I walked
That was
out?
the best day ever.
It was my crowning glory.
I wanted to stand up and applaud you.
Go and tell the people what I did. Go on.
We are, again, another great idea by the BBC, and we were invited down
Be
to...
very careful now. You're slagging the BBC a lot. Don't forget they pay you.
I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Because I'm about to walk out that door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
When
I'm giving the BBC now... What date's this?
It's the 28th.
I'm giving them until the 1st of December.
And to do what?
I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going.
This sounds like
I'm going.
notice.
I'm giving them till the end of November.
You serious?
Yeah. And I'm going.
I see you pounding the table.
I know. I made my... See, when I got up this morning, I said to myself, I'm not taking this anymore. I'm going.
Have you seen the film Network?
No.
Remember that film?
Should I stay?
He shot out the window. No, he shot it out the window.
No, I'm like Michael Douglas.
And he died.
No, falling down.
Falling down. He died too.
Yeah, no, that's why.
I would think very carefully about this, Sean, because after all, this is your future that you're throwing away, even though it may be short.
Then. I'll stretch it to January.
Until what do you want them to do?
I want them to be nicer to me. They're not nice to me at all.
They send Ralph up.
You know what I mean?
Send Ralph up to talk to
But
you.
anyway, we were invited down to this.
Good cop, bad cop. They send Ralph up and then they send Nolan.
This meeting.
They send Walter up.
And we were down, me and you and a
Yes.
couple of others, and we were sitting in this room in the BBC in Belfast. Mm-hmm. And again, this man was brought over. It was a solicitor.
Yes.
From London.
He was telling us how not to get into trouble.
And telling you how not to get sued. And this guy got up and he said, I've got to give you an example. And you got up and walked out. That's all he said. This is the sort of thing that can go wrong in the BBC.
I couldn't take it anymore.
And you said, that's enough. And you just got up and walked out. The guy stopped talking. He watched you go out the door. And away you went. And it's funny, you missed that meeting. And 2 years later, you were sued.
But I couldn't help it. It was foisted upon me. Anyway,
this is the sort of thing can go wrong.
Listen, we have to talk to Willie Gregg today. Willie is
I didn't like that first song.
I know you didn't.
No, but I'll tell you what, I like. Did they remix that?
No.
I think they did.
No, they didn't.
That's not the original version.
It is.
Is it? Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes. It's the original version. Don't worry about it. It's just
I
that
didn't like it.
you're angry today.
I am angry today.
See, I mean, things sound differently when you've sacked yourself. No, but you can change your mind about this. You've thrown down the gauntlet to the BBC. They may pick it up.
Yes, I'm
Or they
leaving
may
on the
just
1st of March.
If you're lucky, on the 1st of March.
1st of March.
It was the 1st of
I'm
January.
out of here on the 1st of March.
It was the 1st of January a minute ago.
Well, stretch it to April.
1st of March was 2014, is it?
So
Anyway.
I'm over it now.
He's taken it back. And BBC people listening, he didn't mean that. There's people writing down things now, writing memos to
I'm
themselves.
all right. No, I think a man will fix me.
We have to talk to Willie Gregg. Willie Gregg, as you know, is a tireless worker for charity. Willie's Orphan Fund. He said, when is a good time, he said, to talk to you? I have loads of good news and a big charity gig on Wednesday the 30th. I'd also like to thank your listeners for their kind support over the past 7 years. So Willie wants to talk. Will you give Willie a ring? And the number to ring, of course, is 08459 555 678. I repeat, we cannot have any emails today, so any messages that are of an urgent nature, maybe perhaps you could use the text messaging service. I couldn't say that. Text messaging service at 81771.
I threw a book from me in disgust over the weekend.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
What kind of a
So
book was it?
no, you know when you get a book and you think,
Playboy, was it?
I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read this, I'm going to enjoy this, I'm looking forward to reading this. And I got, is it unfair? I got to about 30 pages or so.
I think you have to give me the title and the author.
I'm going to tell you the
fair
title.
because it's
yes,
fair.
I'm going to tell you the title.
Go ahead.
And you tell me the author, okay? Because I know you know. No, I know you know. It's not. I'm not trying to trick you up or anything.
Don't trick me up.
No,
No.
I don't trick you up when it comes to books.
Do you mean
anyway.
trip me up or trick me up?
Trip you up?
Well, why didn't you say trip me up?
Because I said trick and I didn't mean to.
That's all right.
All right. So you're getting me angry again.
I know, I hear
I'm
that.
leaving.
I hear it, yeah.
be
I
out
can
of
see your foot out the door.
I'll be out of here at the weekend.
Okay.
Small Man the book.
Oh, Rob Brydon.
awful.
She shouldn't read anything like that.
Oh, but I thought I was disappointed.
Of course you were disappointed. Because
that's
people
not
know,
reading
because
that.
don't you know what's going on? No. See, what happens is, sort of the biggest disappointment I ever got was Michael Parkinson's book.
Ah, you were telling me that.
Michael Parkinson was a fine, smart guy, journalist, a fellow,
Yeah.
I followed him. He wrote
yeah.
in newspapers, and a good writer, an amazing writer. And then he wrote this book called Parky.
Yeah.
I said, this will be good, because here's a man who's retired, and he sit down and tell you
tell you
everything
all.
he knows. The biggest load of shite I have ever read. And it's the same, you see, there's a certain rules for celebrity bios. See, I'm not a celebrity. Oh, my books, of course, aren't like that. I try and tell the truth, because after all, I'm a beacon of truth, basically. But the other guys are told, just write down the other stuff at all, and they'll buy it. And this is what happens.
A man was talking to me last night, funny enough, about your book.
Is that a fact?
Big Billy Campbell.
Big Billy Campbell,
Big Billy
yes.
said to me, he said, tell Anderson I read his last book, Heads, and really enjoyed it. And whereupon I told him about surviving Stroke City, which he didn't know anything about. And he said, where can I get it? I said, call in here to Radio 4 and we'll give you a copy.
They're all in the garage.
So he said he will. But
Anyway, well, here's...
but Rob Brydon, he starts off before he's born.
Well, is he in the...
Yes, he's in
Woman-
the breach.
woman
You know
at the
what I mean?
top.
And then his first birthday, his second birthday, his third birthday, his
Sounds to
fifth.
me like a man padding.
And I go to myself, why? And about what Santa brought him and how excited he was, and that his Auntie May and going to fairs and going to. I said, what is this about going on holiday when he was 3 years old?
All the
picked
stuff
up
you want to
another
hear.
book. I picked up another book by Angelo Dundee that I bought in New York. I'm enjoying that.
I have an idea.
I'm enjoying that.
I have an idea.
I want to thank Mr. Bradley for pointing it out to me, because we went to the bookstore together. He said, they're a good book there. Looks a good book there.
Why don't you go to the library? There's lots
Oh.
of books there, and all the shelves.
No, because I like boxing, as you know, and I'm enjoying that.
You nearly finished?
Not quite.
And that's okay. It's just
Do you know
didn't-
Gordon from Saintfield?
Pardon?
Do you know Gordon from Saintfield?
I don't think I do know.
Well, he's got a special request here for his mother, Lily Brown. Do you know her?
No.
Lily, she's from Killalay,
Yes.
right? And she's staying at her brother's house, or Peter Brown's house. That's in Carryduff.
Yeah. Is
Well,
that
she was 90 recently.
Oh,
Lily.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would like you to play Lily the Pink for her. Would you do that?
No.
Oh, it's in the core.
I know it's in the core, but I can't play Lily the Pink for anybody.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something now. You see the time we were following you?
When?
You know, when you were a big, shiny, glittering star in the Chessmen?
Yes.
You know that time?
Yes.
When you were in the show bands?
Yes.
And do you remember... It was when you guys were playing, say, in Borderland, which is quite near here, just over the border.
In the village of, if we may say it, Muff.
Explain to people where it
Yes.
is who don't know where it is.
Yes.
Well, we would go down to the either two pubs, either the Matador or the Squealing Pig. Those were the two pubs that you visited before we went to see you, the big stars.
I'd been in there too.
I know you were. You were upstairs. We were downstairs.
We were
But a group
upstairs-
of us. And it was the
upstairs
time.
people. Yeah.
It was the time the scaffold had Lily the Pink out,
Pink, pink, pink,
right? And a
pink.
group of us. And I'm going to mention a man's name
Go ahead.
who works in Radio Ulster, Brian Mullen, and myself,
my God.
and one or two others. We learnt the song, and we were called up onto the stage to sing Lily the Pink every Friday night.
Such heady days.
And my line was Jenny Freckles, her terrible freckles. You know that?
Yeah. Well, this is great. But do you see how...
But imagine learning Lily the Pink.
I know, but do you see how you've been liberated by announcing that you're leaving? All the stuff's coming out of you.
I know.
You see, all the stuff wouldn't normally come out of you. You're reaching back into the past. You're delving back down into your subconscious, because you know that your career is over.
Yeah.
You know that you've resigned. When are you leaving? Saturday?
Friday.
The 1st of
This
March?
Friday.
All right, okay. Oh, here's a man who made a mistake. He said, I've saved up all my money to go and see Sue and Sean in Newcastle on Friday night. Is it worth it? Well, it's not you. It's Sean Donnelly.
Have you a gig on Friday night without me?
I'm not allowed to mention it.
Eh?
I'm not allowed. No, sorry, I'm not
Ah,
allowed
but
to
I'm not
mention it.
on it. I can
No,
mention
you're
it.
not on it. No,
Why
I'm just
am I
saying
not
this-
on it?
Because I don't want you. Because you don't do anything. You just stand and look at me on the stage. No, what you're supposed to do is, this man wants to know whether it's worthwhile. He's while going, because he wants to see me and you. He says, "Are we, you and Sean? Are you going to be any good?" And I'm just telling him it's not you. That Sean Donnelly's going to sing.
I have a couple of new songs I'm ready to sing.
And Janet out of X Factor.
Our
Would you
Janet.
believe it? Our Janet.
Our Janet.
No, not our Janet here. Janet Devlin from Oma. Out of X
what's
Factor.
Oh,
Booted out.
was that so?
No longer admitted to boot camp. No longer nailing it. No longer making the stage her own. No longer ragging it out.
I've never heard her sing.
Well, she's a good wee
That's
singer,
so
but she
believed,
wasn't ready for it. X Factor wasn't right for her. She's doing well. She'll stay over there and she'll do well. And the best thing I think ever happened to her was getting out of X Factor. I think she acknowledged it herself. I think she said on the night that she can't wait to get out of the show. Because you don't have to win it. Actually, if you win it, it's probably a disadvantage. She's a very good singer, and I wish her all the best. A young lady, the pretty little girl from Oma in the county of Tyrone. You see, you don't have to be on X Factor. Now, here's a little girl here called Morgan.
Did you ever enter a talent competition?
Were you not listening to me?
Did you ever enter a talent competition?
No, never. Ever, no. 'Cause
Are
I
you
never had
sure?
a- no,
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Think about it.
I was never... was I?
Think about
I
it.
don't think so, no.
Are you sure?
The only thing I was ever in was the dirty
no,
face
no.
column kill.
No. Did you and a wee chum of yours? Who,
No, I know what you're thinking of.
what? What?
When I was in the Satchmo Trio.
Yes.
That was a concert.
Yeah, but
That was an appearance. It wasn't a talent competition. It was a concert, and I was introduced by Frank Carson.
I
We
was
were down
told
the
you
street.
entered a competition and you were the only group in for it and you were second.
It wasn't a competition. It was a performance. Here's a girl.
Grass at our back,
I hear.
stars at our faces.
She doesn't have to go on
One
X
is
Factor.
for dreams and another for the places we would go. Oh, and number one was Mexico. Oh, grass at our backs, eyes to the night, limbs used as blankets and stars were our light. We were satisfied. Did you feel it when we died? Now hands barely touch, once close so far. Eyes that you might well now staring out the window of our car. Roads full of silence and words never said. A long list of places remain in my head. We're going down, down, down so slow. How about Mexico? Grass at our back, stars at our faces. One is for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. Grass at our back, stars at our faces. One is for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. But my simple map, and I drew out some plans. If Mexico can't save us, I'm sure nothing can. Head for the sun and the brighter days. If you won't come, you're free to stay. Stay and never know what it's like in Mexico. Grass at our back, stars at our faces. One is for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. Grass at our back, stars at our faces. One is for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. I sang your name in a carnival show. I carved your name on a train bound for Mexico. Grass at our backs, stars at our faces. One list for dreams and another for the places we would go. Oh, and number one was Mexico. Oh, and number one was Mexico.
Now there's a singer. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's a little girl from Belfast called Morgan
nice.
McIntyre. She's absolutely
Very
fantastic.
mature voice.
Absolutely. I don't think she's more than 17 or 18, to be honest with you. And she doesn't go on X Factor. Do you know why? Because she's smart and she's good. And I'm not saying
I'm
that
not
Janet,
saying can't say that. But,
I'm not saying that Janet
I know
Devlin
what
is
you're
smart and
saying.
she's good,
Yeah.
but but you're better not going off. I mean, she nailed it, didn't she? She made the song her own. She owned it.
That's to me. That's
She owned the stage.
I don't like that expression.
She nailed it.
She nailed it.
She made the song her own.
I
She
don't like
owned
that.
the stage.
You know, that's
She's
all.
bound to be a star. And then they're forgotten about 2
She
years
nailed
later.
it.
Anyway, it's one of those things. But, this... I mean, if I had... My talent, was never recognised.
There's a wee call for you
I
in one,
often
by the
think-
way, just in case I forget. Oh, it was certainly recognised. You were voted the best bass player in Ireland once.
It's not enough. I wanted to be the best in the world. But what do you, Cash? You're leaving at the weekend.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
What do you think of Sean's resignation? It came as a complete surprise to me. What do you think of Sean's resignation? Hello?
Hello?
She seems impressed by your
Yes.
resignation. Can you hear me?
The lady's distraught.
Does she? I don't think she can hear me. Can you hear me? She can't. Emma, will you do something with that thing?
It's you.
It's not me.
It is you.
She can't hear me. Hello? Can that? What do you call that? You can see, that's different now.
No.
What do you call that lady?
Mrs. Forster.
Mrs. Forster? Mrs. Forster, can you hear me?
Where are you?
I don't know where she
Ken.
is.
There's Ken.
Ken, will
Is
you
there
do
anything wrong with
something?
that screen?
Where's Emma? For
Is
God's
there anything wrong with that screen,
sake.
Ken?
The
Hold
phone-
on. Here comes Ken.
Here comes Ken. Here comes Ken.
What's wrong, Ken?
Here comes Ken. Here comes Ken.
the line
Here comes
flashing?
Ken. I don't know if the line's flashing or not. What's that lady's first name?
Tell you one.
Hello. Hello.
She's here.
Hello. Hey, yes. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you now, yeah?
There you are.
Thank you. I was just wondering what you thought of Sean's resignation. Do you think it's premature?
It's okay.
I approve of it as well. I'll get somebody in here with spiky hair. Somebody in here who'll give me a cigarette every now and again. Well, tell me, what can we do for you today? How are you?
I'm not too bad, but thanks very much. If I can make this call, tell you. It's, my granddaughter has lost a black achievement file in the town.
Oh dear, what town?
In Belfast.
Yes.
Somewhere. She's not too sure where it is.
What did you say?
A black achievement
achievement file?
file. It's all her schoolwork and Duke of Edinburgh. Everything is all in it.
It's Duke of Edinburgh's in it? No, I know. I didn't know they called them achievement files. Now that's a nice little term. Yeah, okay. So it's basically a bunch of her work.
It is indeed, all from her primary school exams.
And was it kind of a folder?
It is a black folder.
Black folder, yes.
And she's not too sure where she's lost it. She's looked everywhere for it. And she really needs it if she needs to go for an interview for a job and whatever.
Where do you think she might have lost it?
She thinks it's in the town.
Yeah, somewhere in the city
somewhere
centre.
In the town, somewhere.
City centre.
It is indeed somewhere.
All right, then anybody finds a folder, is her name on it or anything?
Her name's on it, and telephone number is on it.
What's her name, if you don't mind me telling you? Her first name or second name or what name?
It's Lindsay Ruddock.
Lindsay Ruddock. Okay, if anybody finds a file with Lindsay Ruddock on it, it's very important to her.
It is indeed, and she said there would be a reward.
Okay. I'm sure that won't motivate anyone, really.
No.
But if they did find that, by all means,
yes,
give us a ring here at 08459. I think the phones are still working. 08459 555 678. Give us a ring here, and we'll make sure that gets her. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now, bye.
All right then, bye.
Bye.
Bye. The computer's on now.
Ken's on his way into you.
I know. I'm afraid he's going to be nasty to me.
There he is.
I get all excited, love.
I think I need to hear some more.
I think of you all the time.
I still need to hear some more.
I'm making up my mind right now.
Why you doing that for?
I'm dreaming. Will you be my superstar?
And drive a flashy sports car.
Will you be my everything?
And treat you like a real kid.
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming.
I'm dreaming of you. forgot to feed my cats. Maybe I can stay a while. I'm dreaming. I just need some time to think. Will you be my everything? I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you.
I get all excited now.
I'm dreaming of you.
Think of you all the time.
I'm dreaming of
I'm
you.
making up my mind right now.
Dreaming of you.
On 92 to 95 FM and 1341 medium wave. This is BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock, BBC News with Anne-Marie Foster. The Education Minister has admitted that cuts in school budgets will mean job losses. Principals have been told their allocation will be reduced by 5% in the next financial year, more than expected. John O'Dowd said it was an unsavoury but necessary decision.
The harsh reality of the budget that we're currently facing, the harsh reality of the cuts imposed on this administration by the British government is this, that we are going to face job losses among our teaching staff, among our school staff, going into the future.
Andor Technologies, who make high-tech cameras for lab equipment, have increased their profits by 37% to nearly £10 million last year. They're one of only 3 companies from Northern Ireland listed on the London Stock Exchange. 2 men in their 40s are recovering after they were bundled into a van and assaulted in Strabane yesterday evening. They were picked up at Bridge Street, then driven away and attacked. One of them received a slash wound to his neck, while the other was slashed in the back. The British film director Ken Russell has died at the age of 84. Famous for his flamboyant, sometimes outrageous style, he's best known for his adaptation of Women in Love and The Who's rock opera Tommy. The director Michael Winner, who first met Ken Russell in the 1960s, says he was a one-off.
He was so innovative. He was so daring. It was really, he had a unique style and ploughed a unique furrow. He was very jovial, Ken, when you met him privately. He wasn't the sort of mad sadist, which you might think from seeing some of the movies. But he made an enormous contribution, albeit fairly brief, to English cinema.
Sport now, here's Denise Watson.
The British and Irish Lions have announced their itinerary for the 9-match tour of Australia in 2013. The Lions will play 3 tests in Brisbane on the 22nd of June, Melbourne on the 29th of June and Sydney on the 6th of July. Crossmaglen have yet again proved they are the best club footballers in Ulster. They defended their Ulster club title superbly yesterday by beating Burren 2-11 to 10 points in the final. Tributes are still being paid to the Wales manager Gerry Speed, who's died aged 42. The former midfielder won 85 international caps and had been in charge of the national side since December last year. And Glenavon caretaker boss Pat McAllister is keen to take on the role permanently following Marty Quinn's resignation. Former Lisburn distillery manager Paul Kirk is also interested.
Now the weather forecast with Cecilia Daly.
A milder day ahead as temperatures rise to around 12 Celsius, although southerly winds will be rather brisk and gusty. Clouds will thicken to bring some patchy rain later this morning, and the afternoon will be rather dull and damp. The rain will become heavy and persistent during the evening, which will lead to a thoroughly wet night with strong southerly winds and plenty of standing water.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Traffic's moving well on the main routes in and out of Belfast at the moment. Elsewhere, an in-Larne resurfacing is taking place on Upper Cairncastle Road. That's between Greenway Road and Ballycraigie Road. The road is closed today and a traffic control will be in place tomorrow until 6 o'clock. And a reminder for heavy goods vehicle drivers using the Strangford Ferry that a 7.5 tonne weight restriction is in place until further notice. Elaine Sutherland reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, when is a joke not a joke? When it's about Sinn Féin babies in cages? The DUP faithful laughed. Did you? And noisy neighbours, why Nelson McCausland wants to give them the yellow card. And is there no magic left to Christmas? Also on the programme, what went wrong for Gary Speed? What next for Janet Devlin? And Nut House Hen Rescue. Yes, it's all in Talkback. Join the debate at 12.
Thank you, welcome back. Gerald McAlanderson here. I'll be here until 12 o'clock. Ken has done his white man's magic. The emails have returned. I'm pleased to say Ken has done sterling work. His hands were blurred as he flew across the machinery and adjusted the various knobs, needles and indeed dials to make sure that I am provided with every opportunity, the same opportunity as people like Fat Boy. It's great. And also we're in trouble. We said that Janet Devlin was from Omagh. She is from, of course, Gorchin. It's very important, that. Do you know the difference, don't you? These people get very... She's from Gorchin! She's from not Omagh at all! She's from Gorchin! Gorchin! Or Gorton, as it's known from people who do. I have the next best thing for Gerry and Sean to do next. Never mind going to New York pole dancing or something to do with poles up the Mourne Mountains. It was on that Saturday morning programme on Radio Ulster. It sounds for you. I don't know what it is. Poles up in the Mourne Mountains? I don't know. We don't want your stinking batches.
Living easy, living free. Season ticket on a one-way ride. That's for nothing. Leaving me to be taking everything in my stride. Don't need a reason, don't need a rhyme. Ain't nothing I would rather do. Going down, party time. My friends are gonna be there too.
want you to be you. Don't change because you think I might like you to be different. I fell in love with you. I don't want you blonde. I don't want you not to swear, not to sweat. It's you I fell in love with. Your turn of phrase, your sensitivity, your irrational moods. Well, maybe that could go. But everything else, I want you to be you. I want you to dance whenever you feel it. Up by the bandstand, in the parking lot, up on the table. Well, maybe the table could go, but I want you to be you. I love what you wear, 'cause you're wearing it. That shawl, that clinging dress, the svelte black jacket, those leopard capris. Well, maybe not the capris, but I want you to be you. I love what you eat. You want yogurt, you got yogurt. Papaya, it's yours. Chewing gum, chew away. I want you to be you. Spit out the gum, it doesn't work. When you sleep, you are the most beautiful. In the moonlight, your soft skin glows. Your hair sprawled on the pillow, a vision. The murmuring breath, the slight snore. The slight snore. I want you to be you.
William Shatner, of course. I Want You to Be You. That's from his last album, which is not as horrible as his latest one. His last one was called Has Been, which was excellent, actually. The new one is just incredibly bad. And I'm neglecting to play it because I really want to play it, but I feel as if it's a step too far.
All right.
You know, because it's really bad. And I played some tracks of it. I've played, what have I played? I've played Bohemian Rhapsody and I played Major Tom. But I may play Space Oddity before the end of the programme.
I was watching Your Man the other night.
My Man? Who's that?
And there's a program on TV, and it's on. Well, it's not on now, but there's another version of it on now. It's called The Chase. It's a quiz program. I don't think you would watch it, or
no?
Do you
I
watch
think I've seen that Bradley thing.
Bradley thing,
yes.
and it's very good. So but it's off now. But it's on a Saturday night with a celebrity version of it.
Is it?
And it's absolutely useless. You know when you get the punters on, they're really trying to beat the punters, and they're hard questions. And it's a very good quiz program, very good. But you know when you get the celebs on, you know they can't make them look, stupid.
Can't make them look stupid.
Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. And you just do
because they won't come on.
Yeah.
If they say, listen, I'll come on, I'll do your show certainly, but I mean, you're not going to ask me any hard questions, are you? And say, oh no, it'll all be easy peasy. Then you look smart like the rest of us.
I had to turn it off after I watched. The first contestant was your man, Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen.
Why is he my man? Why is he my man?
You always talk about him.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, well,
he's
I'll
not
tell
my
you,
man if I can't stand him.
Had you watched him on Saturday night, you'd have disliked him even more.
Put me boot through the TV.
Because there he was standing, and it's you think he had plastic surgery. He was afraid to even.
Well, here maybe he has.
Yes. There was he was afraid no facial movements at all, and the head and everything all moving, the upper part of the body, everything all moving in unison. He couldn't turn his head even. Had he turned his shoulders and the hair immaculate, and the suit. Dare a wrinkle appear in his suit.
Sounds to me that smacks of jealousy.
No, I'm looking at him, and I'll tell you what it smacks off, and I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, now there's a guy now on television on a Saturday night, prime time TV. Yes. It's a wee light-hearted quiz show. They're trying to raise money for charities, and they're going to raise money. At the end of the day, they're going to get money, and it's all a bit of crack. Why didn't he relax? He was posing It was, you know.
You have a lot of anger today.
I have. You know, here I am. I'm voted the best dressed man on television. Look at me posing. Look at me pouting. Look at me afraid to move my hair. Look at me afraid to even speak.
I can feel your anger.
Yes,
I can feel the bile.
Do you know? And then when Bradley Thing wanted to shake his hand and
who is Bradley Thing?
Bradley what?
Walsh.
Bradley Walsh is
That's
right.
it, yeah.
I like him.
Bradley Thing.
Yeah, and a good actor too as well.
Yes, he was in Coronation Street or something.
No,
like
he's got a detective type program.
Has he?
Yeah, it's one of those Sweeney typey programs. He's quite good.
I'm gonna have to deal with this anger.
Yeah, but I you know what I would have loved to have gone up to your man Lawrence Llewellyn and rolled his trousers up and made them all wrinkly. You do something to him, you know.
Would you throw in baking powder on him?
You know, ruffle his hair.
Yeah.
What do you think of that now? You know, he annoyed my happiness.
Sean, it's okay.
Because Tuffers, as they call him now, you know the cricketer, Tuffers.
Phil Tufnell.
Phil Tufnell.
Do you know who he always
Tuffers.
reminds me of?
Yeah.
Do you know who he always reminds me of?
I know. It's a cartoon comic.
No.
Character.
No, it's not a cartoon. See, in the 50s and 60s, all those movies they made about the war, the Second World War, Royal Navy.
Yeah.
Right? And there's always the fella who was always drowned. You know, he was always the last guy in the boat. And he went, "I'm sorry, mate." It's him, isn't it? It's him. He has that face.
Tell me, Mama Lava.
Tell me, Mama Lava. Yeah. That's him. He was the first guy to be drowned. He was always shot. And in the First World War, over the trenches, he's always shot first.
Oh. But old Tuffers was there.
Tuffers.
And there he was, you know, with the jacket on him and the shirt opened, and he just rough and ready to go. He was just in the panel.
They're all refugees from the One Show.
You know,
what you have to do, you have to deal with it. Now, the way I deal with it is, all the people, and I know it's not fair to talk about this, but you have to be honest. All the people in show business that I really dislike, they're all on the One Show. You see, so what you do is you don't watch the One Show, and then you're okay. But see, what you're doing is you're watching things you shouldn't be watching, making yourself unnecessarily angry.
No, I watched
Giles Brandreth.
I watched
Marcus Brigstock. You know, Phil Tufnell.
No, there's nothing on the TV
where you want to hit.
The fact that I liked it on. I like it when the punters are on the chase. I almost watch this, but someone was telling you, no, it's celebs.
No,
and
don't watch
good.
any television.
So
I
watched one contestant and I turned it
I can't
off.
even watch. It's got to the point now. I can't even watch the good programs. I couldn't watch Frozen Planet the other night. Did you
Hold
see
your
it?
tongue.
Did you see the wolf and the buffalo?
Hold your tongue.
I couldn't watch it.
I've stopped after the first one.
I can't watch it.
I can't watch. See,
I'm
penguins.
terrified.
No, penguins annoy me now.
Penguins annoy you?
Yeah. No.
In what way?
No,
The way they walk?
When they walk, when they walk right. You know what I
When
mean?
they walk properly?
You know what I mean? It's so uncomfortable when they walk.
I know, but they can't help that. That's the way they walk. You don't like them walking.
Should do something about it.
Well, maybe it could. Do
bend
you know
their
what I think they
legs
should
or
do?
something.
See the bottom, that big flap of skin.
Aye, don't they
Just
bend
cut
their-
that.
Get a wee knee.
See, David Attenborough. Yeah, what is it, Richard or David? Which one is it? David. He should go around with a wee knife and just cut the wee flap of skin. Then they'll be able to walk like us. Gerry, stop this, will you? Gerry, who was that singer girl? Surname McIntyre. Well, her name is Morgan McIntyre, and she's a wonderful talent. And I think you'll hear a lot more of her. And I hope to God that she doesn't go on the X Factor, because she'll be back in the supermarket before she knows it. I don't know if she's ever started there, but even if she's never worked in a supermarket, as soon as she finishes that, she'll be back in it. High turkey-necked chicken legs and hairy caterpillar unibrow. That's us covered. It has been advertised in the Morn Observer that is you two appearing in Newcastle on Friday night.
You see, you may bring me down.
No, I'm not bringing you. They have to pay you if you bring you
I
down.
know.
The Morn Observer has got it wrong. No, it's not you. It's me and Sean Donnelly.
Listen, could you play a song, Rock and Roll I Gave You, the best years of my life?
Rock and Roll I Gave You, all the best years of my
And could
life.
you play it?
What was his name? Kevin somebody from Australia.
What do you call him?
Nice guy.
Could you play it?
No. Going to play this instead. You never guess what this is.
Space Odyssey?
Yes.
Yeah.
By whom? Not Space Odyssey, Space Oddity.
Oddity, yeah.
By whom?
The ground control to
Ground
Major
control
Tom.
to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom.
This is horrendous.
Take your protein pills. Put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom.
Naughty boy.
Commencing countdown. Engines on. Check ignition. And may God's love be with you.
Lift off.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule, if you dare. This is Major Tom, ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. Though I'm past 100,000 miles, I'm feeling very still. And I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much.
She knows.
Ground control to Major Tom. Your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom?
Can you hear me, Mother?
Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I floating round my tin can, far above the moon? Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
Can you hear me, Mother? Point of that? What is the point of that?
Dreadful.
Isn't it awful? And that features Richie Blackmore and Candice Knight, would you believe it? The album is called Seeking Major Tom, if you want to buy it as a curio. It's a double album, and there's all kinds of stuff on it. There's like 20 tracks on it. It's featuring all kinds of people. Brad Paisley, son of Ian. Ian Pace, Steve Hillage, Toots Hibbert, Peter Frampton. All kinds of people. Sheryl Crow. You wouldn't believe it, the type of people are on this. It's unbelievably horrible. Anyway, but fair play to him, though, for even doing it.
But if it was good bad, it would be all right. It's just bad, isn't it?
Yeah. Listen, the man is really worried about your resignation. He said he hopes it's not for health reasons. And he says, he believes you. He says he hopes you'll be very happy and that he'll miss you.
Ah,
No, it's a
well,
very
thank-
genuine
it's
email.
nice,
I don't
yeah.
want to give his name because
No, that's nice of him,
he's,
thank you.
he's concerned.
Uh-huh.
And he said, you and I are a good team. And he said, it'd be a shame to break us up.
Yeah.
I wrote back to him and I said, I can't help it. The man must go his own way. You know? I mean, I can't... I'm not your keeper.
No.
I mean, you've got your own life to lead. And if you want to go, okay, go. You know?
I've
I'll
got
try.
my own 4-ball.
Great shows last week, kid. Great shows which unfortunately failed to prick the conscience of Basil McRae and the cabal of MLAs who are flying off to San Diego at the taxpayers' expense. Tommy, my cat, and I attended the press conference at Stormont. Mr. McRae, yelled a very blonde and very irate Eamon Malley, can you explain why you and a number of other MLAs are flying off to San Diego at the taxpayers' expense? I'm glad you asked me that question, replied Basil McRae in time-honoured fashion. This trip to San Diego is not a junket. We're going on a fact-finding trip, which could in time reap great rewards to the hard-working and non-working people of Ulster, with all due respect to Mr. McRae, said Eamon Valley. People see this as a group of MLAs setting off on a free holiday. I resent that, cried Basil McRae. This will be a business trip, not a pleasure trip. If I wanted pleasure, I'd go home. Mr. McRae, what will you be studying whilst in San Diego? I'm glad you asked me that question, said Basil McRae. We shall be studying San Diego's unemployed and comparing them to our own unemployed. What do you think the difference would be? Sorry, caught you talk.
I know.
What do you think the difference would be between the unemployed in San Diego and the unemployed here? I think they'd be more tanned, wouldn't they?
Yes, I think so.
Yes. We will spend our time studying dole queues. We will travel to every street corner in San Diego to see how the San Diego corner boys comport themselves. I've noticed in Ulster a tendency for our corner boys to slouch, scowl and yell fly words after members of the general public, particularly women, wearing short skirts. Do you remember? No, you weren't there. I remember going to East Berlin.
No, I wasn't there.
You weren't there, no. Not too long after the wall came down, at my insistence.
Yeah.
It was a good while after that. And East Berlin was still recognisably East Berlin. And West Berlin was, of course, westernised and indeed in many ways superficially superior. I'm not saying that East Berlin was superficially inferior, but there was a big difference. And I remember going there to East Berlin, and I remember walking around and looking at all the guys hanging around the street's corners. I said to myself, I've been here before. I had this feeling of déjà vu. And then I realised they all look like guys from Derry.
You see that image that's of Gerry and other places years and years ago, guys stand at street corners. You know,
No, they don't do it anymore.
No, but you see all that harmonising that you were told. Did that really happen?
Of course, yeah.
Seriously?
Yes, indeed, yes.
Do you remember?
I remember lying in bed in my little home in the very early hours of the morning, and I'll tell you why I specifically remember this. There were two things that happened. Being a very religious lad, you, of course, will remember going to the annual retreat.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Do you renounce the devil?
Oh, that's all right. Okay.
All its pomps.
All right. Yeah.
Well, these men,
Yes.
because they were religious men, had to get up. See, the brothers who came round and gave these retreats, they assumed that people were working. You see, so what they did was they had a mass at 6 o'clock in the morning. Right? 6 o'clock in the morning, people would get up at 5 and go to this mass thing, right? And they'd be finished at 6:30. And then you couldn't go back to bed at 6:30. So what they'd do, they'd play football.
Yes.
And then after they played football, they'd stand around the corner and sing at about 8 o'clock in the morning.
I don't think you're right there. Somehow I don't think so. I think you're getting it mixed up.
Why are you asking me that? Why are you telling me I'm a liar when you know I'm not?
Well, you see, the reason I asked you, I have this image of guys standing at the street corner at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, maybe up to 11 o'clock at night, and guys singing songs.
No, you should do it in the morning too.
But in the morning, come off it.
Come off it, you're saying? Come off it, you're saying?
I don't believe that for a second.
I'm never going to tell you anything again because you don't believe a word I say. Democracy at work, said Tommy.
There's a
it's
man.
like. Can you hear me reading here? Democracy at work, said Tommy, is like a sausage factory. It's better in the long run not to see what's going on behind the scenes. And I believe that. Without warning, I instinctively concurred. When we got home, Tommy donned a Gladstone death mask, leaped onto the mantelpiece and said, the word apocryphal epochal, is tossed about lightly in boardrooms, whaling ships and on summer parties. Yet, on Saturday, First Minister Peter Robinson made a speech that was truly epochal, truly groundbreaking and historical. Peter Robinson, who used to follow Martin Luther and now follows Martin Luther King, he just added the King, called for an end to sectarianism. No more them and us, yelled Peter. Go home and prepare for peace, prosperity and prose from Seamus Heaney, who has always regarded us all as being equal, except that some are more equal than others. All very well and good, I yelled, but we don't want to turn us into a nation of pacifists, quackers or Amish. If there's no them and us, where will we fight? At home, said Tommy, where God-fearing, hard, decent, working, honest people have been fighting since the dawn of time behind closed curtains. I let out my face to an evil grin and said, Tommy, you're not one of us. Quick as a flash, he replied, well, you're certainly one of them. I retired, horsed, pierced, run through, skewered, raised on my own petard. I think I'm losing my
There's a
sanity.
man on one.
Is there?
The man you wanted to talk to.
Willie Gregg is there. Is it Willie?
Good morning, Gerry.
Willie, Jimmy? Did he say Jimmy? Did he say Jimmy?
No, he said Gerry.
I'm sorry. I think my hearing's going. Willie, how are you?
I'm the very best, Gerry. Welcome back.
Do you know
Welcome back.
the slight problem there, Willie? You've got the radio on.
Oh, hold on a wee minute.
Can I ask you to turn it off?
Aye, I'll do that. Right
Because
now.
it makes
I'm
everything
away
sound
somewhere
funny.
else now.
It makes Gerry sound like Jimmy. It makes
Hi,
me
Gerry.
How are you? Well, tell me what you've been up to, Willie.
Oh, we've been up to quite a bit now with the kids over in Thailand. As you know, Gerry, it's 7 years nearly.
Mm-hmm.
7 years. It's hard to believe. 7 years we've been looking after these wee ones. And now they're not all wee now. There's some 15, 16 years of age ones, and there's ones in around 9 and 10.
Tell me what you do over there.
Well, what I do is I do my level best to get these children into full-time education, to give them an equal opportunity, so to speak, than any of the children that have parents. All of these children have been affected by the tsunami, and most of them, if not all of them, are all orphaned.
Mm-hmm.
Some were living with grandparents a few years ago, and unfortunately now the grandparents have passed away. They've become an orphan a few years after the disaster, and the foundation over in Thailand, which is funded by Willie's Orphan Fund, it brings them in and makes sure they get educated at school alongside the children who can afford to go to school, who have parents. And then after school, they go to their after-school learning centre, and they do art, and they do their homework and dance and music. And then by the time that's all over, they're back to the orphanage and ready for bed, and starts all over again.
But you see, the
But
world,
they're safe as houses, you know.
the attention of the world has moved on, of course. It only lasts for a few weeks, and then they move on to the next disaster and whatever it is, and then everything, the way things work so quickly, and they're suddenly forgotten by most people.
By most people. Well, these ones, I can't walk away from them, and they're going to need looked after for quite a long time, and I can't see this ever stopping. I've got the foundation has got 4 children at Catering College. We have a young girl and a young boy ready for university.
When you say something there,
over 85.
You said
85
something.
at secondary school.
Sorry, you said something earlier on. I just want to ask you that some of the kids have been orphaned, and you said they were living with their grannies. Well, was it because their grannies were living in another part, or how come their parents? How does that work when they seem to be left with their grannies? How does that work?
Well, the way it works, Gerry, is that these children had lost their direct their mums and dads on the day of the tsunami.
Yeah.
And then luckily they were able to trace their grandparents or maybe an uncle or
living in other parts of the country or somewhere like that.
Yeah,
I
and
see
then
what
they were
you mean.
taken in, or the grandparents were living pretty close and they moved in. But what we're getting now is the occasional new visitor that has been looked after by Granny and Granda or somebody else, and either Granny and Granda have passed away, or they can't, or they've come to the point where they can't afford to look after the children. Then they become orphaned,
Orphaned
so
again,
to speak.
yeah.
Which is quite traumatic, to put it mildly. But they're resilient. They're fantastic.
Well, do you need any more help, Willie, or what's going on there?
Well, I do need help, yes. I've got, thanks to your listeners, and they've been supporting me now for over nearly 7 years. They have been very, very good. I say supporting me, a lot of people doing standing orders and direct debits. And despite the economic doom, I have lost very few of them over the years. They've stayed with me. Some have reduced their monthly payments, some have increased, and some have cancelled. But I've had a couple of fresh ones have taken the places of people that have reneged or cancelled. But I have a big charity do coming up on Wednesday night.
Yes.
In the Harbour Bar in Portrush. Upstairs in the lounge, we have a quiz night and a raffle. The usual things on a fundraiser, but with a little bit of a twist to it. I also have a fantastic local artist here in Portrush called Mark McMeekin.
Yes.
And he has done 3 portraits, all firstly of the late George Best, who, by the way, would be 6 years and 2 or 3 days. He's passed away.
That's right.
George Best, Marilyn Monroe, and Michael Jackson are all done in pencil and charcoal, and they're up for auction.
So that's this Wednesday night.
To raise £1 or £2 out of that.
That's this Wednesday night in the Harbour Bar.
This Wednesday night in the Harbour Bar.
In Portrush, yeah.
In Portrush.
Okay, well,
everybody welcome.
You're doing a great job, Willie.
Well, I decided this year to maybe put a hand in and help something else. I have, I'm splitting the door money 5 ways. Action Cancer, Portrush Lifeboat House, and the Movember, you know, the guys that shave the moustaches off.
Yes.
And the local Cry charity and Willie's Orphan Fund. So it's a 5-star charity night, and hoping to raise £1 or £2 for all the charities, and the auction and raffle is for Willie's Orphan Fund.
Okay, well.
So I'm hoping and praying that we get a good response.
Okay.
This time last year it was minus 14 degrees and 10 inches of snow, and a couple of hundred people showed up. So
that's right.
You never know.
That's right. All right, Willie. It's nice to talk to you. Anything else you want to add there?
No, Gerry, just thank you for supporting me for 7 years.
No, it's a pleasure.
Thank your listeners.
You're a great man. Okay, Willie, thank you very much.
Hey, Gerry, thanks for the airtime once again, and if I don't see you before Christmas, have a good one.
Thank you. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, Gerry.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's the first time I've said that this year.
What?
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Does that sound sincere?
I think it did all right.
I thought so too.
Won't you ride in my little red wagon? I would love to pull you down the street. And you know all the kids will be jealous when they see my playmate so sweet. Hold tight when we get to the hilltop. We're gonna coast down the hill, you and me. Won't you ride in my little red wagon? 'Cause you are my sweetheart to be.
enough to pull you down the street. And you know all the kids will be jealous when they see my playmate so sweet. Hold tight till we come to the hilltop. We're gonna coast down the hill, you and me. Won't you ride in my little red wagon? For you are my sweetheart to be. And you are my sweetheart to be.
That's Willie Nelson, of course, and a bunch of other people. I'm looking desperately for the CD so I can tell you what it is, but of course I can't find it, but there it is now. It's called Willie and the Wheels. That's it. No, Willie and the Wheel. Willie Nelson and a band called Asleep at the Wheel. Do you remember Asleep at the Wheel?
I'll ask Gerry. He was a neighbour of Gerry's, you see.
That's called Why Won't You Ride in My Little Red Wagon? Willie and the Wheel. Willie and Asleep at the Wheel. Look at this here. Gerry, I've never in my life heard such ridiculing of a fellow broadcaster. Coyle is such a jealous man. I'm sure he'd be quite a sight on TV. Please stop ridiculing. Talking, of course, about your, I'd say, unfair comments about Lawrence Llewellyn-Boland, a man well known to the BBC radio audiences and TV audiences for his wonderful series, whatever it was called.
In a big house or something.
Where do you get the wee programme? People inquiring about you on digital. Can you get it on digital radio, your radio foil programme? Is it on digital radio?
Emma says no.
Talk her into it. I'll send an SOS to the BBC. Do you know what SOS will be? Save our Sean. Please cuddle. No, I won't cuddle. Coax, cajole and mollify him to stay.
That was a man phoning about a neighbour of yours.
Really?
Yes. And he's looking information on him.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I can help if I can.
I know. Patrick O'Hagan.
Patrick O'Hagan, well-known singer.
Yes, he lived around the corner from you, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Yes.
And his son became
Johnny Logan.
Johnny Logan, yes.
Yes. So,
what
information can you tell us about about Patrick O'Hagan? Is the man alive?
I don't
do you know?
I
think he may have emigrated to Australia.
He did, of course.
Did he? Well, do you know anything about him?
No, he went to Australia.
But he was living in the corner from you.
I know, but I didn't follow him to Australia. I don't know anything about him. Do you think he writes to me? No, I don't know what he did. He went to Australia.
But do you remember him?
No.
Do you remember him standing at the street corners?
No.
Do you remember anything about him?
No.
Do you know where he lived?
No.
He lived around the corner from me.
I know, but I don't know where he lived. It was
Your
too
son
old.
neighbour.
I know, but he's an old man. It was before my time.
Did you never run messages for him?
No. I ran messages for other people. Here's a man who just wants to make certain that you're retiring from both programmes. Just wants to make sure. And another man, he said he works outside. I'm a groundsman. Where can I get an application for Sean's job? It's very cold out here. You see, you don't appreciate. Sean is so right about the corner boys. There's a man agreeing with you.
You see, they never sang in the morning.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, I'm used to being called a liar. Good morning, genetically modified Anderson. Glad to hear you're back, as Interruptus and Gerry Kelly were terrible.
Oh.
You see.
Oh, well.
I didn't like to read that bit out, but I felt I had no choice.
What did it say again?
I'm glad to hear you're back, as Interruptus and UTV Gerry Kelly are terrible.
Oh.
I didn't want to say that again.
I know.
Do you want me to read it again?
No.
But
did you say UTV?
UTV Gerry or terrible?
Why are you calling Gerry UTV?
That's what it says here.
Shouldn't be. It's BBC Gerry.
I know, but this is what it says here. You want me to alter the...
What does it say again?
Well, Gerry, glad to hear you're back, as Interruptus and UTV Gerry are terrible. I just wanted to say my wife and I had a great night in Stoke City on Saturday night. We live in Omagh, not Gorchin, and we don't get a chance to go out to Derry, but we went to the Nerve Centre, a very good place, and the Coronas were playing. Only found out later that the lead singer is Mary Black's son. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I didn't know that
Emma
either.
knew.
Did she know? Anyway, it was a great night. But at the end of the night, I left very confused, and I wonder if you can help. We bumped into friends in the Nerve Centre. Nerve Centre, of course, is a very progressive live entertainment gig with the recording studios. It's a centre of excellence, and it's very, very good. And we went out for a few drinks later. Long story short, we all ended up in Da Vinci's, a well-known watering hole and hotel. And the madness of trying to get everyone in for a couple of end-of-night drinks, they're trying to get in, we were trying to persuade the bouncer, probably about 30 years old, to let the rest of our group in. Can you explain the following conversation? Bouncer: look, they're not getting in. It's 12:30. Wife: come on, the bar's not full. Bouncer: why were ye up to now?
What did he say?
Where were ye up to now?
Where were you up to now?
Explain that, will you?
Where were you
Where
drinking?
where did you spend the earlier part of the evening?
Yes.
Where were you up tonight?
You've come here with a foreign load.
No.
Did you ever hear that expression?
I never heard that
Don't
before.
be coming in here with a foreign load.
I never heard that
You
before.
did.
I never did.
People must have said that to you.
Nobody
You've
ever
heard
said
it.
that to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were you up tonight?
Right.
Wife, in the nerve centre.
Well, you're not from Derry then.
Says the bouncer. Me, what does that mean? Bouncer,
I'm from Derry all my life, and I was never there.
I'll tell you an even better one than that. I'll tell you. You know, you say that people from Derry are very insular and very kind of, don't look outside Derry, which is true in many cases. But no, not all. But, it is actually true in many cases. And this girl was driving. She hadn't been used to driving. She was driving from Belfast to Derry.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, is this a true story?
Yes, it is. And this girl is a married
It
woman.
sounds false already, you see.
See, you judge. How quickly you judge.
But I know the way you hesitate when you start to tell a story, because I know you've no. How do I finish this? No, like punchline.
I've got the punchline.
Right. Okay. Right. Garrett from. Go on. Start again.
There's this girl from Ipanema who came to Derry, right?
All right.
She was travelling from Belfast to Derry, and she's a woman of some years and has a family of her own. And she was quite nervous, but she'd never driven from Belfast to Derry before.
Right.
Never done that. She hired a car.
Mm-hmm.
And she went down to the M2 and went up the M2, and she got to Toom, right?
Right.
And then turned left. And then there was kind of a roundabout.
What'd you turn left
The
to
roundabout.
for?
Toom.
Wait, where's the turn left?
Oh, will you stop? You go to Toom.
You
right.
drive straight through.
Okay, you drive straight through.
Oh, why she turned left?
I don't know why she turned left. You drive straight through and then you come to a big roundabout, right?
There's a whole lot of roundabouts.
I know, but there's a big one.
Okay.
You know.
Right.
And
Castle Dawson.
Yes. Why didn't you say that? It's at Castle Dawson, right? And she wasn't quite sure. She missed the sign, whatever it was, or maybe it wasn't adequately signposted. And this lady is from Derry, you must understand. And she wasn't
I'm
sure.
going to tell you a story about that roundabout after you finish.
Yeah, ruin my story.
No. Well, go on, Gerry. She's at the roundabout. Go on.
Anyway, she wasn't quite sure where to turn off, and this car went in front of her and turned off to the left. And there were toys in the back of the car, so she followed them.
Uh-huh.
And she said there was children in the car, so she thought they were probably going to Derry.
All right.
Because she had children.
Eh?
Because she had children.
Yes.
And because there were children in the car, she probably thought they must be going to Derry because she had children too. Is that a great thought process? Isn't that wonderful? Think about it. Tell me your story now, you obviously. No, it makes no sense, I know, but I'm just saying, isn't it wonderful?
Right, but I was coming from Belfast one night with a man, and we approached that big roundabout. And instead of going straight through the roundabout, as it were, this man, he turned left.
Yes.
And we ended up in Cookstown.
Oh, yes.
Who was that man?
Oh, that'd be me.
Yes, that would be you, yes. Yes. How we ended up in Cookstown, I
don't know, but I'm not drawn towards Cookstown. I've always liked it. A gentleman writes to me, I'm getting a little concerned about Joe Mahan, he of the Lesser Spotted Ulster show. I've just returned from a holiday in Tenerife, and one night I was walking around the south side of the city when I came across an establishment featuring Big Maggie. Naturally, I thought it was a play, currently running in Dublin, so for a bit of culture, I ventured in. Sitting in the front row was the one and only Joe Mahan, gawking at Big Maggie. He was wearing a fair elganzy, nodding away at his head, saying that there... I'm not going to read that.
Oh, no.
You know, sometimes you start reading and then you realise... I apologise to Joe. But I didn't say anything, did I?
No.
You want to read that? I'll show it to you after. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Who do these people think they are sending me stuff like that? Think I'm some kind of a corner boy? Well, I am. I'm not quite sure what this is. I just put it on anyway. Oh, I know what this is. This is Charlie Lansborough's son. This is Jamie Lansborough. Very good album called Fools and Believers.
I was born by a raging sea, with ships going down right next to me. Heard the scream and I heard that sound, but I stood there firm and I held my ground. Just a boy miles from home, with all of this world for me to roam. Playing it safe was never my style. None of my friends, oh, none of my pile. sure had a time. Sure had a time. On to turn out the tide or to throw our dice. I'd gamble my money or I'd gamble my life. 'Cause it can get cruel on an ocean wide, and there's no place to run, no place to hide. We get home, yeah, we drink all day, singing south of the border down Mexico way. Oh, but nothing can remain. Ain't it a crying shame? Now my time has gone and my mind has too, and I don't quite remember who I'm talking to. May think me dead, but I don't wanna die. There's a little piece of me deep inside. So play the game, play it well. If you lose, then roll again. You will have a time. Oh, you will have a time. 'Cause playing it safe was never my style, on none of my friends, on none of my mile. Sure had a time. Sure had a time.
That was Jamie Lansborough. A song called Ships Going Down.
Jovem e linda, a garota de Ipanema passa. E quando ela passa, todo mundo olha e diz: ah. Quando ela anda, é como um samba que move gostoso e balança tão bem que quando ela passa, todo mundo olha e diz: ah. Daria o seu coração, mas cada dia quando ela passa, ela olha pra frente e pra ele não. Tall and tender, young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, she smiles, but she doesn't see. Tall and tender, young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes goes up. And when she walks, she's like a samba that swings so cool and sways so gently. And when she passes, each one she passes goes like, yeah. Não sabe dizer como ama. Sim, ele daria o seu coração. Mas cada dia quando ela passa, ela olha pra frente e pra ele não. Tall and tender, young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, she smiles, but she doesn't see.
but she doesn't see. But she doesn't see. But she doesn't see.
Yeah, that's a good one. Girl from Ipanema by a band called the Boogie Max, and that's from an album called Les Musiques de Paris Dernier. I'm going to Paris the weekend after next. You know that, do you?
Hmm?
Was I telling you about that? I'm going to Paris not this weekend, but the weekend after that. I'm going for a few days. Do you know why?
No.
What did I tell you about that?
No.
Do you know, girl?
Have you taken time off the
No,
radio?
I'm just maybe one day.
What do you mean one day?
Well, I'm going on Friday. I'll be back on Tuesday. On Monday. Going to Friday and back on Tuesday. Going to Friday and back on the Monday.
Are you back on Monday or Tuesday?
Monday. Late on. I probably won't be here until Tuesday morning. But anyway, the point is that I'm following a gentleman called Kieran Gribben, who used to be called Joe Echo,
Yes.
who's featured in this programme on a number of occasions. Over a couple of years, he is now the lead singer with In Excess.
Yeah.
And they're appearing in Paris.
And what?
Going to do a wee documentary about him. And you can listen to that at your leisure. Has Snowy ever heard of Danny MacIver, a traditional musician from Dungiven? Maybe Fancy would know. No, Fancy's the engine man. No, and but Patsy wouldn't know either because Patsy looks after the body work. But I'll tell you might know Barney does the electrics, and them folk musicians sometimes play it. That was Barney the electrics. He would know Fancy, Patsy, and Barney would maybe know Danny MacIver. Anyway, this has been an instructive programme today, Sean. Thank you for all your help.
So, if we get back to Joe Echo.
Yes.
What's this about? Give us more.
He's from Castle Dawson. He's a singer. Right?
A roundabout man.
Pardon?
Roundabout man.
What do you mean roundabout man?
Castle Dawson.
Oh, yes, sorry. But he doesn't call himself the roundabout man.
Yeah, but he should do.
He should, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the people aren't aware of the Castle Dawson roundabout.
You can make
elsewhere.
it famous.
Yes. Well, anyway, he was working away. He was a songwriter and he was doing really well. And then he got his big break. The last Madonna album was called Celebration, so he co-wrote the title track. And then that opened a lot of doors for him, so he was being asked to be the lead singer with In Excess. Michael Hutchin was the one before him.
Why are you going to Paris?
Because I find that interesting, Sean.
Yeah, but could you not telephone him?
No, because he is appearing in Paris and we want to hear him singing and playing and talk to him backstage and see all the groupies.
This is an excuse.
Listen, just because you don't get any commissions. Listen, I'm going to leave you now. Thank you for all your help today, Sean. It's been lovely being back. Was I away? No, I wasn't. Sorry. This is a song called 5 Leaves Left. No, it's called Messages by a fellow called Ryan Kelly. I've been asked to play a little bit of this.
Who asked you?
Never you mind.
You came, you saw, we met. That much I won't forget.
I like going out with something tender.
You smile.
As they all say.
You stay for a while.
So hateful.
The words we chose to say were never to convey the truth of what we would do. You laughed at the right time, at the punchline. I thought that at this time there was still time, and I was getting the messages. We met, we saw, we came, and nothing was the same. It kind of put me out of my mind, and so I liked this game and loved what it became. This sort of love you wrote in your blindness was a kindness I read, and where else would I find this? And I was reading the messages. I was reading